Welcome to episode 3 of The Hair Show. And we have got a special one for you today because we're not only in the studio, but as you'll see, we have come out to Pro Hair Live here in Manchester Central. And you are going to have a treat of what we've got in store for you today, because we are going to be talking to the punters, we're going to be talking to the celebrity hairdressers, and we're going to be talking to the trade stands. A whole mix that's going to give you a real idea of what it means to be at a hair exhibition. Here we are, Tegan. We're in a new studio space.
We are.
We're actually come on holiday this one because we've actually let Tegan come out of London. She was so excited when we said we were bringing her out of the big
dug
city.
out of cage.
Yeah, dug out of the cage. So here we are today. We're actually in the space of Paul Watts Hairdressing in the beautiful rural town of Oundle in Northamptonshire. And once more, we're missing somebody.
Who is that?
I don't know. Is there somebody else who did join us some time ago?
I don't know. I don't remember anyone. Joking.
Jordana.
Yeah.
All right, so Jordana, she's still with us. And as you're going to see further on into this show, we've got some great clips with Jordana.
She's missed.
Because we went wandering, didn't we?
We did. We had a good time.
At Pro Hair Live, and we talked to the punters.
We did indeed.
We talked to celebrity hairdressers, the vendors. So that's kind of what we're talking, and we had a great time. How did you find the experience at Pro Hair Live?
Oh, I bloody love it. I love all those kind of events. I just really love hairdressers and hanging out with hairdressers. They're nuts, aren't they?
We are definitely a nuts kind of industry. Why are we nuts?
I think because we're so personable people, like we love chatting. I think that that's why it has such an amazing buzz going into somewhere like that, because everyone's almost like, so electric, so on fire. Everyone just has such a bloody good time.
Do you find there's a big difference? Particularly, obviously, I want to talk about the events because we're at Pro Hair Live Manchester. By the way, this was back in March. Was it March? Yeah, I believe it was March. I stand corrected if I've got that wrong.
Yeah.
So in March we were there, but the hair events in general. And as we're going to see, actually, I'm going to just head into this clip with Ruth Hunsley and Julie Allen, because we talk about hair expos.
Yeah.
And the difference about, maybe a London event opposed to a Manchester. So should we just hop into that
Absolutely.
firstly? And what about being in Manchester? Is there a different vibe here? Why?
I don't know why. It's just lovely. We were just talking and saying what a lovely vibe it is here. The venue, of course, has a lot to do with it. It's beautiful. It's lovely, beautifully laid out. And the people are just so friendly.
And the thing that I noticed, I don't know if you notice this, but it almost feels quite British hairdressing here, where when you Salon International, which is mega, I love Salon International, but it's very raw, northern.
I don't think you can compare Salon International with Pro Hair Live. They're two completely different shows. Salon International is a very international show. Hence Salon International. This is a regional show. So you are getting people, correct me if I'm wrong, but from this area. Whereas at Salon, people might come from Edinburgh, Italy, wherever, Australia. So it's a completely different vibe. But like Julie said, this one's got a really nice regional feel to it. And I think we were saying again earlier, a lot of hairdressers are so busy in their salons that you can become quite insular. And something like this just gives you an opportunity to see curls or blondes and talk to other hairdressers and actually realise you're not alone in your challenges or their challenges. It's an industry thing.
Okay, so we were just there and I spoke to Ruth, and Ruth picked up on it actually. She sort of said, well, you can't compare Salon International with Pro Hair Live because they're two different types of crowds. And I was going, it's very British. Have you noticed that? Because you've been to both, haven't you? Salon International and Pro Hair Live.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think just being on such a huge scale, it definitely loses its kind of personality. I'm talking about Salon International rather than up in Manchester, because it's a smaller space. Okay. You kind of have time to actually do what you go there to do. You have time to look around. You have time to sit down and watch things, to speak to people. When you go to Salon International, it's so big, I think you might be a little bit overwhelmed.
Right. Okay. And do you feel that the actual type of crowd that you go into these audience is different? Do you, like what Ruth was saying? She was sort of saying, well, it's a more international crowd. Yeah,
and that's when we mentioned kind of the more regional hairdressers. You do get a sense of it being a very everyday hairdresser event. it feels more realistic, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And
Yeah.
I think this word is coming up more and more every day.
Everyday hairdresser.
Everyday hairdresser. Why am I hearing this more?
I think it's a lot to do with, again, social media, because people are posting their everyday life and you're getting more of a sense of what people do day to day, and you get more of a community-based feel through that.
Do you think our industry is growing more as a community because of what we're seeing on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. We can kind of touch base with people all over the country, and because we're speaking to these people, we build friendships online, and
And I think that's really interesting. And you say that. Do you actually follow up on all this community speaking socially? Because I believe in another clip we're going to see later on in this, we do talk about this. I think it's with Barry Stevens, actually, that we talk about being at an event. And it's nice to go to an event because, you know, we're looking at a phone and we're speaking from a social media point of view.
Yeah.
Do you actually follow up on that community and meeting people at events?
it's bloody hard.
Why?
Well, I think first of all, we have our day-to-day life where we're constantly working, and then our phone is kind of the only way we're able to do that, really. And these events kind of provide a platform for us to go out and.
But do you want to go out then and meet more people?
Yeah, I personally, of course, that's my favourite thing to do, and I feel like that's why I'm so passionate, is through going to these little things.
Which brings me on, right, to events.
No.
And it's good. I'm liking this,
Yeah.
Tegan, right? So you say, yeah, this is great, and I like going out to these events.
Sure.
Is there enough events? Because you say you're the everyday hairdresser, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you are.
No,
I think
no.
you're not an everyday hairdresser now, and that's a compliment.
Yeah.
But a lot of these, you know, girls, lads who are not in London. And let's be honest, when we come in, we said we're going to Northampton, it was like we're bringing you to Disneyland.
So
it was like,
excited.
I'm out of London.
Wow.
You Londoners are all just cocooned
in a
your own-
cage.
You are, I think, sometimes. And that's what I find as somebody in the industry. I get a little bit infuriated by this.
Yeah.
I do. And I just think, is it just the big cities that get all these things, and should we see more splinter
I think
events?
I think you're exactly right. I think even when we talk about awards and stuff like that, it's always the same names coming up on those awards. I feel like to most part of the industry, there's so many hairdressers that don't even exist, that don't even scratch the surface.
I agree, and I think, could we see then more events that aren't necessarily always huge expo events? Why can't we see more smaller events?
Yeah, where there should be.
Which is a bit like, you know, when, let's be honest, Hair Club Live, Open Chair Night.
Yeah.
They are great, but half of the big reason is that we could go into a pub and have a great time and socialise. And I think we need to see that. And also, when we talk about to Emma, and we talk about being a brand. So, shall we? Actually, let's just go into this. I think this is a really good one.
Okay.
I'll speak to Emma Summersby of Summersby Media, and let's just hear what she says. What is it for a brand? Why is it important for brands to come to these events?
Well, I think there's two sides to it, really. I think it's obviously great to showcase any new products that we've got, anything new that we want to share with the industry. But I think also, you know, it's about supporting our trade show. It's about supporting a professional hairdresser and working in partnership with them. And, you know, this is a great regional show. It's great to be up in the north, and it's a much smaller captive audience, which we really like.
So I found that really interesting. A big shout out, by the way, to Emma Summersby of Summersby Media, somebody I've got to know and brilliant in the industry. But she was there representing Hot Tools, a brand, and she talks about, you know, why it's important for brands to be at these events. I have heard, only on a personal level, and I'd be interested to hear from a 20-sink hairdresser. Do you get excited by the brands and the stages that you see at hair exhibitions?
Brands, no.
Why?
Not really. I think when you go to something like that, there's just so many things. I think the issue is there's so many little filler things, bloody glitter lips and weird stuff like that. That, you know, it kind of loses its whatever, and you go past so many.
Is that not just you though?
Oh, probably.
Because I when I go to Salon International, right, and I love Salon International. I love, like you, hair exhibitions, spaces, because we're all together. There's amazing education going on. But when I go, and certainly on the Monday at Salon International, all them coaches come in and the students jump off. Do the average high street hairdresser love all the glitter lipsticks? They love all the hair extensions. Is that kind of, or are we seeing maybe a shift, and do we want to see a bit more edge?
Yeah, I think it would be nice to see a bit more. I think it's because I go to so many of these events and it's the same kind of thing. I think it would be nice to, take it up a level maybe.
What would you say? Okay, you're sat down there and they say, right, Tegan, you said I want to take it up a level.
Yeah.
What were you going to take it up to?
Well, I think that, when you're walking through and you see so many not very nice looking stands and there's someone behind it looking really bored and slumped over, and you see a lot of that. You see loads of that at these kind of events. And I think maybe... it's not a big issue, but maybe polished a little,
So you personally think it's tacky?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, and that's really interesting, because I think when we spoke to Jamie, we literally jumped up on Jamie Stevens, as you'll see in this.
Attacked him.
He spoke about this and why he loves Pro Hair Live. So shall we take a look and just see what he said?
And how are you finding the vibe here in Manchester?
Honestly, I think for the last couple of years, obviously you've got Salon International, which is, been going for a lot longer. But for me, just actually being a little bit smaller, for me, this is hair. There's no teeth whitening and all of that sort of stuff.
And that's what we were saying as well. And I think what's really comes over that sometimes I refer to the hairdressers, what I call the real foot soldiers of hairdressing.
Yeah.
Do you think you feel that when you wander around here, being in the north, slightly different? So it's very British hairdressing here.
It is. And I just, there's a feel about this place, which just seems a little bit different. Everyone is here for hair. And I think that's the thing what really kind of stands out in Manchester rather than London.
Do you agree with what Jamie said about it more about hairdressing going on at Pro Hair Live opposed to maybe lots of different stands away from it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think it caters more to the everyday hairdresser, because it is hair-based.
But wouldn't you say, I know you say that, I personally feel that there's lots going on at some of the other big expos. Is it just because they've got bigger space and it comes down to more stand space? So therefore, because when I go to Pro Hair Live, I absolutely love it. And I think the amount of education you're getting for free.
Yeah. And that's why it's so much easier to sit down and actually learn and soak up things, because there's not so many other things going on. It's very easy to just get a chair, sit and watch and really soak it in.
I get that. But sometimes, again, if I'm going to just be a little bit balanced about this, and there's lots of events out there and going on now, I still wonder, is there enough at Pro Hair Live to actually keep me really interested? Is there only so much education that you can take in a day and sit and watch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, again, we talk about education, and Jamie mentioned about this, and he was saying during this about the point where a lot of courses just aren't getting people on them now.
Yeah, and why do you think that is?
Why do you think?
Well, I think again, little bits of education stuff. It's very easily accessible online. It's very easy to kind of watch something on your phone with Instagram, TV. It doesn't have the same appeal booking courses as it might have had in the past. And I think because it is such an overly saturated market, it's hard to kind of see which one to pick. And at the same time, I've been to so many courses, and I find a lot of the time they're teaching the same thing. Or you go to a course, you pay £250, and I have left a lot of courses feeling like
Is it almost, are we seeing the same thing repeated?
Yes, yeah, I think so.
Do you get excited then, again, because we spoke about it during there with Jamie, and we were talking, and Jamie, let's be honest, if you talk about the word celebrity hairdresser, I mean, it depends what you call a celebrity hairdresser. Is it because you do celebrity hairs, or is
well,
it
that
because,
is a new question.
or is it because you are famous in your right? I'm kind of meaning they're famous as a hairdresser. So Jamie Stevens would probably be that last guard, what I kind of see, and Sophia Hilton, who's probably a superstar hairdresser now, in a different way. But do you get excited by seeing a celebrity hairdresser?
I think not so much now as I would have been in the past, and I think that's mainly because, again, through social media. Social media has created so many other little superstars that there's so many new people on the scene that one particular person, like back in the day, Lee Stafford and all those kind of hairdressers, they were absolute rock stars. They were like, because they were the most, there was only a few of them that were the most famous in the industry. But now we've got so many people that we know.
I agree. Do we get more excited by it's a new celebrity star in the industry, and these are people on social media, isn't it?
Yeah.
Particularly Instagram. I mean, I think that really, let's be honest. But I've got to be honest, Tegan, I get absolutely livid with these so-called celebrity
Really? In what
Instagrams. Way? Because I think it's all about style, not substance.
Okay, yeah.
And I would love to actually mention them, but I'm not going to, because I have to be a little bit neutral, because I have to put myself a little bit there. But I think there are certain people on social media. American lady comes to mind, stylish, wears hats, and I just feel that they look amazing.
Yeah.
But are they actually more interested?
Like their work?
They're more interested in them than actually their work, and it's how they present it. Over the head, and we get boomerang, all that kind of stuff. I find that really irritating. I get really irritated when I see amazingly talented hairdressers who are actually innovative. People like Tom Connell, who I think is one of the leaders in the game when it comes to being innovative.
You kind of think, where's this hundreds of thousands?
Yeah, I think we're more interested in going to see somebody who wears lovely hats and has
a personality,
lovely flat tummy and all that. Where I want to see people that are innovative, because that's what keeps our industry moving. Yeah,
but that's been the shift in hairdressing is now, because you're kind of hiding behind the screen. It's more personality based, and
it is more personality, and that's great. I mean, which can lead us into bringing more people into hairdressing. But I think that's another topic for another day. If it brings more people into the industry, but actually the substance and actually how we brand ourselves and how we see ourselves. I actually, when wandering around the hall, I saw somebody who I think is a master at this.
Who's that?
Barry Stevens.
Oh,
and we're going to hop into it. Actually, let me just see what Barry Stevens has to say here, because I think you'll like this.
Wicked.
Are you seeing a change to the industry? And if so, what sort of change are you seeing?
Yeah, I think, the industry has changed. And I think, we've got to work harder behind the chair. We've got to inspire our clients. We've got to bring new innovative ideas for our clients, really. And we've got to be ahead of the game, certainly when I look at other salons, and what they're doing, they've probably been doing that for a long time. So it's looking for your niche, looking for something different, and being good at that and being focused on that.
And that's how I've always seen you. I always say you are the king of marketing. But it's all about that consumer as well. It's about the consumer experience. So if there's one tip that we could offer for our viewers of offering something really great for the consumer in 2019, what would that tip be?
I would say that is find your niche. Find what really turns you on, really floats your boat, and what's working for your business first and foremost. And then just getting behind that, getting your team to buy into it and focus on that. That would be my advice.
So I really enjoyed meeting Barry there. That was the first time I've actually met him face to face, and it was good to see him. And for me, Barry is, I wouldn't say I know Barry as the top leading hairdresser. He's not a Trevor Sorby or somebody, but the reason I know him is he is a fantastic businessman who has built an incredible businesses, and it's all about how he goes about marketing himself. He's very good at the spin and getting press involved and getting the stories. Is this something that you if you're trying to build yourself peach soda, how do you, what's your thoughts on branding yourself as a hairdresser?
Well, this is something that this is like the hot topic at the moment. Every time you go to any kind of seminar, it's all branding. And I think for me personally, like, it's how I've got noticed. That, like, I'm not, never would ever call myself like one of the best hairdressers ever. I'm good at hair, but it's the branding that get me
so
noticed.
Is that a little bit like what we were talking about? I'm not referring to you as a bad hairdresser.
Oh, no,
but
exactly.
Do you think a lot of your excitement has become because of your whole style?
And there's so many hairdressers. I mean, no one's the most amazing hairdresser in the world, but you need something that makes you different, that stands out, because there's how many million hairdressers in the UK? What makes you different? Why do brands come to you? Why does someone over someone else get opportunities? It's because of personal branding, I think.
So it's that way you sort of brand yourself and see yourself is what's making you sort of different. So when you talk about being an educator and you're branding yourself, there are lots of educators out there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Why?
First of all, it looks great on an Instagram page. And I think as a hairdresser, everyone loves to kind of add bells and whistles. They're not just a hairdresser, they're a hairdresser and educator. It sounds a bit cooler, doesn't it?
No, it is. I think we see that, but actually, I know it's a hot topic, and I know it's something that people get quite angry about, is people that claim to be educators that they're not. But the new buzzword for me is not educator.
It is?
Coach.
I'm
a business coach.
Yeah.
I'm a hair coach. Which actually, but are we seeing a shift now to where it's becoming a bit more about power speakers, motivational?
Yeah, just because that's more exciting. I think that's what now, especially with like watching shows on Netflix and stuff like that. We need something a bit more exciting. We need something a bit more edgy where it needs to be constantly changing.
We're seeing a world from this. What's come from America is it Tony
Robbins? Yes, it's all like, whoa,
he's
how does it be, bro?
Tony, all that.
Yeah, and I love it.
I think we saw Sophia Hilton. She posted about this, didn't she? And I think Gary Vaynerchuk.
And I think that's also
people like this that are all about the motor. So is the hair industry latching onto this and thinking this is what we now want a bit of?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it looks cooler.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Is it because we want new content to be educated by? Are we almost getting a bit fed up with no disrespect to anybody teaching balayage or, how to cut a beautiful line? Because brilliant, there's lots of people coming into the industry that had that. But are we now looking at new ways? Is this all about branding and business thinking, motivational?
Yeah, and I think just because it's very samey. Like you go to courses and they do teach very similar things. So this is something that's different. This is what you can take from it. You feel pumped. You feel like you've got something from it. You feel inspired. It's not just you're learning a balayage technique. You're really, makes you feel
So what
things.
we're saying, so when, Jamie was talking about, as we saw, he was talking about education. And maybe when we go to these events, do we need to see more motivational speakers, more so than just the hair stuff?
But maybe that's how educators should think. They need to not just be educating, they need to be...
So it's not always about... I guess I can refer to this because of the How to Cut It podcast is conversation.
Yes.
And it's motivational, and I feel that there tends to be...
And that's why people love so, because they take something from it. They're not just learning, they're getting feels when they're watching it.
And... Again, I keep going back to Jamie Stevens, young hairdressers, and it comes up all the time. What is a young 20-something hairdresser all about nowadays?
The image.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I think again, Instagram. I think it's changed hairdressers, and people want to get noticed and
image. What do we all want to achieve?
Fame. They want to be acknowledged.
Why do we want fame?
I think everyone wants fame.
Is this a big problem then with social media now? That actually the hair industry is as guilty as any other shallowness of social media?
Absolutely.
We want fame, and this is, I think the next big buzzword in our industry is going to be wellness, mindfulness, because I think we... And I'm starting to see that. I'm starting to see a surface of people coming through that are talking about mindfulness because we're all feeling unfulfilled.
We're all quite depressed, actually.
I think because we're living behind the cameras. We're looking at you, and we're looking...
people are always... And that's the issue with social media, is that you're not posting your reality, you're posting what you want people to perceive you as.
Massively.
And it's the same with hair. You don't post your everyday client, you post the perfect... perfectly positioned, skinny, beautiful client.
I actually, on this as well, I saw a piece regarding brands. Brands are coming away now from what they call I can't remember what, but you know, the huge influencers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a word I cannot bear anymore, influencers.
Yeah, me too.
But
Makes me
huge
cry.
influencers, they're actually coming right back down to mini influencers.
Okay.
And the reason being is that they feel they have a more authentic connection with their community. If it's maybe just 50 people, and that starts to come back then to that everyday hairdresser.
Yeah.
You know, the everyday.
Because they have a realistic following that people will actually listen to them. Do you think?
And what I'm really interested in, fame. What is fame? What is it? What is fame actually going to be?
Well, now
bringing
fame
us?
is Instagram followers. That's it.
Influencer. And what does that mean? I'm now starting to see. I'm seeing hairdressers now. People really that are getting on Instagram, and it's just. I know someone like you would just say, "Oh God, that's so tacky," but they're selling products by brands, and I use this product, and it's great.
Fake.
It's just, but that's what we're doing, isn't it? Are we just all selling out?
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
Is that what you want? Do you want fame? I don't know. What's the
I
most
know.
really?
Lunchtime. Yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
And you want fame because of what?
I think it just. I've always wanted to. When I was a kid, I wanted to be like an actress or like a fashion model.
And I don't think so. That's good. I don't feel anybody has to justify being famous.
Yeah.
I think fame is a great thing.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people want fame. It's a sense of acknowledgement.
Yeah,
and it's like a selfish.
Would you prefer then to be rich and famous for not a lot, or actually? I don't know, like great artists, let's be honest, great artists are not very good when it comes to the commerce of actually making money for themselves. No. But would you prefer to be known for something that you've brought to society and the industry, or would you prefer, honest, to have the fame and actually think, well, I don't really care what legacy I leave?
Interesting. I think, like, for me, personally, they kind of come hand in hand.
Do you think
like,
so?
I don't think so. No, I just think for me personally, if I was to,
I think do we not just forget about a lot of these people? There's people I've seen in the last 2 years who suddenly come up, boom, boom, get it, actually quite disappointed with what they got, and then they disappear.
Yeah.
I'd rather see people run a marathon and go on a journey.
Yeah.
But I think we need to come away from that, and I think we need to see a little bit of your time out, because you had some great conversations with some of when we talk about the regular people of Pro Hair Live.
This is them.
Should we see it?
Yeah.
See your action.
So we are here at Pro Hair Live in Manchester. I'm going to be doing my usual thing, running around and asking the punters, the real everyday hairdresser, the difficult questions. Hey guys, you're both looking lovely. Where are you from? What salon are you guys from?
I'm from North Wales and I'm working in VJ Salons.
Okay.
I'm from North Wales as well, and I'm from TH1 Hairdressers.
Amazing. So quick question, how does this kind of event relate to your everyday life in the salon?
Well, when we come here we get to see more fashion forward cuts and things like that, so I'm really enjoying seeing all the different cuts and colours that are going on.
I just see a lot of new hairstyles and that I've never seen before, so I find that.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a very inspiring kind of event.
Yeah.
Wicked. Hello, Emma. I'm so happy I bumped into you. I am just going to ask you, how does this event relate to your everyday life? Like, what would you specifically take from this kind of thing?
It's just really inspirational to see everybody here, to see all of the students coming here as well, and seeing them growing and developing. We've had some great guys on today, a 16-year-old that's only been cutting. Absolutely amazing. So to give people that opportunity is great.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you, Emma. Hey guys, so where did you come from today?
Scarborough. Sebsen.
And where do you work?
Shane's Hair Studio. I also an educator for GBBBA.
Amazing. And I'm going to ask you guys, what does this event give to you? What do you take from this kind of thing?
Inspiration into the shop, seeing if anybody does anything different.
Yeah. And I guess maybe as an educator, kind of gives you something to talk about, to share with your students. And what about you?
It's my first time here.
Yeah. And what do you find?
Well, I've really enjoyed it, actually. I got my hair cut.
Amazing.
It's just really good to watch other people cut hair.
And I love how many barber-related things are here as well. But thank you so much for joining us. Hey, so where are you from?
From Ormskirk.
And where do you work?
Unity Hair Studio.
And tell me, what is your favourite thing you've seen today?
I'm quite interested in the barbering stuff.
Yeah? Are you a barber?
I do men's course, but work like as a hairdresser, really.
Did you learn something today that you think you're going to use in your salon?
Yes.
What was that?
The new thinning scissors that are out for blending. Yeah, they look quite interesting.
What brand was that?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll go have a look. But thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Okay, so where did you guys come from today?
Manchester. We're based here, yeah.
Where do you work?
I work at Manchester College at the moment.
Yeah. I have my own salon.
Where's that?
On Cheetham Hill Road.
Yeah. What's your salon called?
Joanne's Hair Elite.
And what do you guys love about these kind of events? Why do you come to them?
Meeting up with friends, people that we've known in the industry for many, many years. Seeing all the new products that are out, all new techniques.
Are you an educator in the college? Do you find that you're able to take things that you've learned today and bring it? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. But we encourage our students to come as well because it's all learning for them, and getting them to become familiar, like with the latest products, latest techniques that are out, and
just get inspired.
Yes, and that's it as well, because I forgot that they have a lot of demonstrations, so to gain some inspiration as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
All in all, had a good day?
Yes, not too bad.
It's been good. Yeah, we're just waiting to get some bargains.
Amazing.
Big bargains, but it's
We're looking for samples.
I love a free sample. A bag full.
Yeah, I was here yesterday and I've come today as well. And like she's saying, just looking for new things, new techniques, new products, to take away, basically.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for talking to us. I'll ask you a quick question.
Yep.
So where do you work?
I work at Kettering Hair Studio.
Forgot it for one moment. I'm going to ask you a quick question. Did you learn anything today that you could take and use in the salon? If so, what was it?
Oh, I don't know. I've not really been in much. Probably just like different little tricks, like how hair ups work.
What's your favourite thing about these kind of events?
I quite like seeing what everyone else is like doing with their hair, and seeing if some people are a mess or not. I think that's what I find interesting. Like, ooh, do I like that? Or?
Maybe not. Are you talking about the punters, the hairdressers as well?
A bit of both.
Fashion, please.
You see someone, you're like, oh,
should have brushed it. Amazing. Well, thank you very much. Okay
then, Tegan. So you wandered.
Mm-hmm.
You talked to some of the crowd, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Asking them, what it means to them. What kind of feel did you get from them at the event?
Was it? To be fair, I think time wasn't on our side because we did this Monday about 3 p.m. We found a lot of really hungover hairdressers. People are losing steam, so we get quite garmless. I'm here for inspiration, that kind of thing.
That kind of inspiration is it. What I noticed that the girl with the green hair, I can't remember her name.
Yeah,
and she kind of I kind of picked up she almost enjoyed. I don't think she actually knew what she really enjoyed at the event. What are you here?
Yeah, we spoke to a lot of people there. They were kind of just wandering around, kind of aimlessly, looking very.
Does that bring us all back then to that sort of whole thing? Actually, are some of these events just a bit?
Yeah, I did get a sense.
Do you feel like you're kind of thinking, I want something, I don't know what it is I want.
I was so full of energy, and I was like, what did you get from today? What did you get? And they're kind of like, oh, yeah, I saw some
Is there a lot of people watching?
Lots of people, and I think that's probably one of my favourite things as well. That girl.
So what did she say again? Remind me.
She said she was looking at like funny people's funny hair or something like fashion, please.
Yeah, I think you do see that. I think that whole kind of style. But you are looking. What does make me laugh? You do see the odd hairdressers who are wandering around these events, who are quite well-known personalities, and I think they're almost looking around to see, does anybody recognise me?
Looking at them, yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
This is my moment, my fame.
And they're like
suddenly
an
recognised.
empty hall, yeah.
Yeah, and I think there is a lot of that. But I think what comes back to it, with you going there and talking to everybody and people, that lad with his bags all around his eye, they're buying products there. So obviously there is, that, and we like buying our new products. Do we? Our tools? Do you buy new tools at these events?
Yes, there's a good discount. But I think that's why a lot of people go to these specifically, is just to buy things. And it's kind of like why do people go? Do these people go to these events to learn, or is it to buy cheap things? And I think a lot of the time it's to buy cheap things and not.
I'm going to make a really interesting point here.
Okay, what is it?
We sit down and we watch a lot of these shows. I think a lot of the time we sit down and watch these shows there's some good education going on, but you want to rest your legs, don't you?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I am so guilty of this. I'm tired. I want to sit down and go sit and watch something for 5 minutes. Oh, yep, that's me.
I'll have my coffee and I'll sit and watch here, but I feel a bit more recharged and I'm ready to sort of go again. So I think what comes over is that we kind of enjoy it, we wander, but we don't really know what we're wandering sometimes, what we're looking for.
Why are we there?
Why are we there? No,
that's what we were asking. We still don't know why people go.
How long would you spend at an event like this if you'd just gone? So at Pro Hair Live, how are you there for a whole day?
Because whenever I've gone, I've always been on stage or doing something. But to be fair, it's a very small thing. I can imagine. I remember even when I was there, I did my rounds a few times and then got a bit bored.
A good star tip.
What?
You just said about discounts.
Yes, yeah.
Listeners, if you want to get the best discounts, hold back till about 3:00 on a Monday afternoon, because the exhibitors or vendors have got to make up their money for being there.
Yeah.
And they're expensive places, by the way, for them to be.
That's actually a very, very good tip.
Yeah, stay until the end.
Have that one for free.
And you can do a little bit of negotiating, because I think that's always really important.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, going round, you enjoyed it.
Yep.
What's your takeaway from the whole experience of hair events? What's out there? Tegan's world.
Okay. I think people are just bored. I think it's a very samey. You know what I mean? You know what you're going to get from it. And I think especially doing things like this, it really does kind of paint a picture quite vividly of people's almost lack of enthusiasm.
Well, okay, we've got to touch upon it as well. And you may be seeing this after. And just want to also mention as well that if you do want to see the full videos, and I know you spoke to Ashley, didn't you, at some point?
Yeah, Ashley Hodges.
Well, then we're going to have some links below which will take you to the full videos, and that one with Ashley, by the way, is a fantastic one. I highly recommend that you check them out. So they're all below. But I was just going to say that Colour World, all right, that is a really different style of event.
So Colour World is actually a fantastic event, and that's doing something differently.
What's it doing? What's different?
So what's different to that is kind of more of like a boutique kind of vibe. It's a smaller space, a very cool, trendy place in Dalston, and just even the setup of it. There's no stands, there's no like go buy some random hair clips or whatever. It's colour. And there's like dotted around randomly. There's little people showcasing random things, and it's more intimate.
Yeah,
it's very tiny little space, but you'll see people like crowded around watching something.
What's your favourite event then out of them all that you've been to?
Hair Club Live.
Oh, you know it, really?
Absolutely.
Does that get classed as a event like an expo, would you say? Or could it make it bigger?
Yeah, it could definitely be bigger, and I think it should be bigger. And then my other favourite things are all very similar. Like, what's that other one that's it's like very underground?
Which one are we talking? Noise, yes. I like that. Yeah. And I mean, whenever you go to these... I've never been to Noise.
Noise is good. It's a similar vibe. Because, I mean, you don't go to these things to learn. You go to these things to get inspired. It's really cool. Like, there's really loud music. People come on and do, like, crazy little dances and stuff like that. And, like, you don't learn anything, but you really get inspired.
Do you know, education is everywhere now. And actually, I don't believe that's really what our thing is anymore. Going to, I call it educational clinics, and that's why we really open chair night was all about just having something which is a vibe and a thing. And I actually think we're going to see a shift. And all I say is watch this space. Jordana, she's not here today, but I loved Jordana when she was at the event, and we had a great time wandering around. And there was
she met some good people.
She was, and one of those things that really stood out for me was the boys at Menspire.
Yeah.
We're all aware of them,
yeah,
but they really are leading the way. And she sort of spoke to them about, you know, them being at these events and why, you know, it's important to them. So should we just have a quick look at what Jordana had to say?
Okay, so we are here for one of our last interviews of the day, and we've got very special guests to join us from Menspire. They're an absolute force to be reckoned with for the hairdressing industry, but also for the men's industry. And we've been waiting to interview them for quite a while, so it's great that we've got them here today. So thank you for joining us. So here is Josh.
Yes, right. It's a pleasure. Ollie, how you doing? You okay?
Yep, good, thank you. So, guys, I want to ask you a few questions about, number one, how you measure the success of an event like this, because I know it's a lot of money you have to pump into for the models and for travelling and stuff. So how do you measure it? What's in it for you?
Good question. You know, when I think about these events here in England, there is a lot of money that can be spent in preparation, getting here, hotels, your staff, the models, etc. The way that we try and manage it is by not going into the negative, because that is generally what happens a lot of the time. So we tend to source our models on from Instagram, from either turning up here and trying to find someone that looks good. So that's the model situation sorted. Hotels is an issue because there's loads of us, you know, and everyone wants to be here. And to be honest with you, everyone's here voluntary, you know, none of the boys are necessarily getting paid to be here, and that's all come out of everyone's will, everyone's desire to be here, which is fantastic. So again, that leaves us with a plus, and we don't make any money here, we might not even get any people from our courses here, but what we do get is we get fulfillment from doing what we love. And that's what we get. That's how we measure coming to these events and going, right, we've done ourselves proud, and that's it.
So that was good. I mean, the boys at Menspire, I mean, you've seen them, haven't you?
Yeah.
What do you make of them?
They are like mini superstars, aren't they? Even when we were there, they had like a little, I don't know if you remember, they had like a whole little entourage of younger barbs all filming them, and they really are cool.
I mean, that was something that really come over to me at these events. The whole barber men's hairdressing explosion has just gone
huge.
There is a big event now called the Barber Bash, which is really popular.
How many fades can you see?
I have full respect. I love men's hairdressing. I totally, utterly respect what they do. But I am bored. Are we all bored of it?
I'm bloody bored. I was bored a year ago, mate.
I was probably, but it doesn't take away anything. But move it on now. I mean, let's move it on and let's see a new thing. And if anybody's going to move it on, I think that the Menspire boys can, because I think Josh and his crew are amazing at adapting trends and men's hairdressing. So if anybody is, for me, represents,
it's going to be them.
It will be those boys.
Yeah.
There will be, and I think everybody will follow them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're being brilliant. Another little bit which we're going to do is when Jordana spoke to Sophie Laidlaw, Wonderland, is it Wonderland hairdressing? And she had a great conversation with them, and we'll take a look at that and just see what she said.
Can we get a little pano of the models and just a very, very quick, brief overview of what you've done here as well? There's so much detail here. I really hope we can pick this up with the camera.
We always start our concepts like from scratch, because I think, again, for the team, coming back to the reason why we do this, it's really important to like build a story and have a bit more to it than just the hair. So we have this sort of mood here, which is spring, summer. So really authentic, really raw. Like in terms of the hair, it's very like natural, but kind of sort of non-contrived, but still non-conventional as well, kind of pushing it a little bit further. And then we have a more contrived feel. This is a little bit more narcissistic. It's a real play on like how people express themselves, and it's kind of focusing. We took inspiration from obviously the catwalks, but also like how people connect with each other on another level. People almost kind of portraying a false sense of who they are on social media. We've done like braids that have kind of been elevated forwards. We've got braids that have been pinned meticulously with them.
What time did you have to get up this morning for that?
Yeah, 5 o'clock. This is like really, really soft. Sometimes it's hard to do something that's not too done, because you want to do it as a hairdresser, you want to do it, you want to push it further, but I think she looks absolutely beautiful, just really natural, using the natural texture in her hair. Tegans, we've done lots of different types of braids and we've pulled them flat to the head. We've kept kind of areas kicking out, again, to kind of go with that non-conventional, but it's very natural non-conventional. And then we've got our last model, Kat, who, if you just turn to the side a little bit, yeah, we've got this little finger wave in here. Again, it's very thought about. It's a definite decision to wear something like that, and yeah, accessorized it as well.
I think we'd all agree there's a lot of beautiful old school hairdressing techniques involved, but always mixed with a current trend. I absolutely love it.
Great piece. She talked about actually how they made their collection pieces, Tegan, and
because that's something you never really think of when you go to all these big shows.
You just think everybody's got endless budgets.
Yeah.
But none of it, even the big salons. I know myself when I sit there and I think, they've probably got designers working for them, and
everything
if you were
costs
going to
money.
do a show, and have you done many shows?
No, but I'd like to.
Okay. How would you afford it, all the outfits?
You would have to borrow.
Right, and that's why I love what Sophie had done. They had actually made all their own clothes, recruited all their own models, and you would. I was just blown away by what we just seen there, weren't you?
They were fantastic.
And again, I just say, if you want to see this whole video, the link is in the description below. But getting those outfits, and I think being creative around these things. So
because it's not just about the hair, it's the whole look, and that's what stands out when you're walking around. You really saw those models, and you're like, wow.
Well, I think
this is cool.
That whole styling is what can make something look really, really special.
Yeah.
And talking of really special, there's a really special hairdresser out there at the moment. She's kind of in your mould.
Okay.
Cool, got a really good, that vibe, there's an edge to them. They're the new breed, you're the new breed. Yeah. We are the new hairdressing generation. And her name was Sarah Black.
Yeah.
All right, L'Oreal Colour Trophy. So Jordana had a really cool chat with her. So let's dive into that.
So I really want to know what 2019 has in store for you, because I see you absolutely everywhere. You obviously won the L'Oreal Colour Trophy a few years ago. Tell me what you have planned this year.
So I think the last couple of years have been really colour focused for me, which is amazing, and it is obviously what I'm obsessed with, but trying to get a little bit back more into the styling side of things, hence I try to get in and do some work with Babyliss, which is going to be fun. So I'm going to be doing a bit more with them this year. I start teaching for L'Oreal next week. Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do we book on that course?
L'Oreal Access. So yeah, I can start teaching. I'm going to be doing quite a bit with Creative Head. So yeah, I've got a lot coming up and I'm mega excited about it.
What do you think of Sarah Black?
She's fab, isn't she? Yeah.
Why is she fab?
Well, I see what you mean when she's got an edge to her. She even just her personality, how she looks. She's a cool girl.
She's cool, but she goes back to that conversation that we were saying. She backs up her style with substance.
Yes, yeah, and that's what makes it different.
Really good hairdresser, and that's why I think if I was ever going to tip somebody to get right to the top, but then she's already won the L'Oreal Colour Trophy. But what is it that Sarah Black wants? What is, back to that fame?
Yeah.
What is the achievement? Big salon businesses?
Yeah.
Do you want that?
No. Absolutely not, no.
Is this the rise of the indie hairdresser?
Absolutely, yeah. That's it, yeah.
We can be our own brand?
Yeah. And that's exactly what I'm doing at the moment. I'm doing everything on my own. It's all about me.
But that's it. I think that's really just create that brand, and can you make a really good killing?
And you don't need to, because that's why people work for salons, because that's how they rely on it. I don't need to rely on a salon because my brand, this is a business for me.
Now, I'm going to dive into this one as well.
Okay, what is it?
Is it James Earnshaw? And I know Jordana's a really good friend of James.
Oh, he is one of my favourite hairdressers.
Yeah.
Just beautiful image, day in, day out.
But let's just quickly go into this. I'm just going to bring up something when this comes out.
It looks gorgeous. One of the things I love about James's work is how beautiful and feminine it is, but with that creative edge. And sometimes I can get lost in that, when we're doing something. So I really, really love it. Where do you get your inspiration from, James? Because you produce absolutely beautiful work and you're constantly on the go.
Thanks. Inspiration, I think we get asked that question a lot, don't we, as hairdressers? I think the models themselves inspire me a lot. I think as hairdressers we sometimes forget that, and we're we kind of pre-plan what we want to do so much that doesn't necessarily always suit the model. So for me, I always like to work with the model's face shape and just kind of create textures, braids and shapes that really kind of bring out their personality.
What made me laugh in that interview was Jordana asked that famous question, which we all ask, where'd you get inspired? That question drives me absolutely insane because as hairdressers, do we talk a bit of nonsense sometimes? When we say,
bloody hell,
where
yes.
I got inspired.
From nature.
From nature. I know Sarah Black talks about this, about where you get your inspiration from. And are we as an industry copying?
Yes, that's what the industry's based on.
It is. I don't see many truly innovative hairdressers. I could probably think of people like Angelo Seminara, Tom Connell.
Back in the day, yeah.
But they are innovative hairdressers.
Yeah.
All right. So when we talk about inspiration, where are we getting our inspiration from? I find it a really boring question.
We get inspiration from phones, from our phone screens.
We do. And mood boards. And, so I think we've got to be a little bit more free thinking.
Yeah, think outside the box.
At that side of things. And I've got to go back to one more little bit. Again, I'll keep saying it. You want to see that full vid?
Down below.
Down below. As you'll find, all the good bits are down below. Or they used to be. So I just want to go back to one more bit. We kind of had a conversation a little bit loosely earlier. Celebrity hairdressers. And if there's one king of hairdressing who is a celebrity, Andrew Barton.
Yes.
Jordana, she spoke to Andrew Barton.
Yeah.
Andrew, so nice to see you. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to do today.
Today I'm here in my role as creative director for Raccoon Hair Extensions. So I'm going to be bringing some magical kind of transformation together live on stage, using hair extensions, but in a unconventional way. So we're kind of playing and having some creative fun. We're showcasing one model. It's trend-based, but we're approaching it in a very, very different way to how you normally think about hair extensions.
Andrew Barton. What's your experiences of Andrew?
Andrew's just wicked.
He is a truly giving man who doesn't take himself.
Such a charismatic person as well. I just love the way he holds himself.
But he's great at reinventing himself.
Yeah.
He is a celebrity hairdresser.
Yeah.
He's on Sky News for the royal weddings. He's been on big big shows on TV. 10 years younger, was it?
Yes.
Back in the day. And I mean, he really, very good at reinventing himself. But look, coming to the end of this lovely time, as it always is, Tegan. We're just really enjoying it, and and I'm looking forward to bringing a new format for everybody as well. So make sure you subscribe to the show, and you'll be seeing all the new parts that we talked about earlier on. But it's been great, hasn't it? We had a great time.
Yeah, in this lovely space. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, and I can't say thank you enough to Paul Watts, somebody who I'm a massive fan of what he's done in the industry. He's really created something great, and here we are in his Oundle salon. He has one in Kettering, and sorry, Paul, I can't remember where your other salon is, but if you want to find out more, again, we have all the links to Paul's social media, his website, and great, it's been really good. And it's been lovely to be here again with you today.
Always a pleasure.
We had a wonderful time. So that's it. It's a wrap for the hair show. And as I say, be sure to come back for our new format. It's going to be punchier, quicker, and we are all open to your suggestions. And maybe we could be coming to you very soon.
Ooh, bye.